Hi there, and welcome to The Delight of Photography. The Delight of Photography is a series of 10-minute videos on photography, stretching from all about photography, then moving into how your camera works. And what we're now doing now is capturing your vision, how you use what you've picked up so far to capture the kind of images that you would like. If you've not joined us before, welcome. If you go down to the bottom right hand of your screen, there's a subscribe button. If you click on that, it'll show you a list of all the videos that we've screened so far. It's recommended that you go back to the beginning, but you can start at any stage. And if you just want to watch capturing your vision, that's also great. This is talk 2, and we're going to be talking about framing and composition. And if you've been with us for some time, welcome back, and we're very pleased to have you with us. So today, framing and composition. Aperture, shutter speed, and ISO ratings are the technical basis of a photograph. But the composition of the elements that we are including in the photograph is vital. And how we encompass them all within the frame, which is our image, is important. Because this is the frame, and what you're doing with your photograph is you're trying to capture everything that you want to capture within the confines of that frame. And one by one you decide which elements you want to include, because you've got space, or you can move them around, and you move them around by moving yourself. You sit down, stand up, move left, move right, and you will find as you do that all the various elements change their juxtaposition, and you decide which is the best mix for you. And the challenge of photography really is capturing our vision in a way that's going to fit into the frame, because the frame is there, and we have to fit all our elements into that frame. That frame is your restriction. You have to fit everything into that, and it's a wonderful challenge. What's included and what's left out is up to you, because this is you, the photographer, making the decisions of what you would like to do. A snapshot shows other people what your camera is seeing, and normally a snapshot is not a great image. Composition is about your way of making other people see what you are seeing. Things that you see, so that when they look at your image, the first thing they see is what you would like them to see. You actually make the effort of composing, you will direct others to see what you saw. And sometimes it's special, and you want them to see certain things. And there are rules of composition, but there are also no rules. You don't have Nelson's column sticking at the top of a bus, for example. That's fairly common sense. And I'd rather think of it's tools of composition rather than rules of composition. We'll cover some of them in this talk, obviously, but there are a fair number, so you can't cover all of them. But you need to take them as a guide. And once you understand the tools, you can break them, or rules. You can break them, but you know what you're doing because you're trying to do something that you can visualize. And good photographs come from experimenting and trying different approaches. That's why take pictures all the time. The more you practice, the more you take images, the more you will develop a feel for your composition. Tiny ship, big clouds. Early morning mists just add something to the image. Early mornings are wonderful times for taking photographs. How you come up with a tree on the one side and a tower on the left side. How do you compose that? A Normally ferries are shot sideways on, but maybe forward looks good. This is part of composition, deciding how you are going to tackle these photographs. Personal taste and the subject matter obviously guide a lot of our responses to photographs. You look at that, it's quite the forbidding statue of Shakespeare. This is quite a cute image. You decide, do you like it? This is obviously a misty morning or misty evening. And there are two crucial elements in composition, light and composition. Because don't forget about light. We've talked about light before. Light is so important in photography. Some of the other important elements in composition are obviously balance and symmetry, asymmetry, shape, form, pattern, texture, etc. But light is necessary. But in its own right, it can become an essential compositional tool. Direction, where's it coming from? How intense, cloudy, hazy, light. Light has an amazing effect on our photography. Where's it coming from? How do you handle the light? How do you handle the light? Because that's what's giving the feel to this particular image. And it's, again, highlighting where it comes from. And then you talk about form and the image. Now, shapes make wonderful images, but they can be two-dimensional. And photography is obviously two-dimensional because it's flat. So what we need to do is give some feel of the form with some variation of light and shade within the outline. So if you take this, the light is coming from the bottom, and the light gives a feeling of depth to the whole, feeling of depth to the artwork. It's an illusion of depth. As moderately diffused light is preferred to harsh direct light, really, when you're trying to do the illusion of depth. So take this lemon. It's not a great lemon, but it's a lemon off our tree. Right now, it's flat. But if you light it from the side, immediately it gets the illusion of depth. And if you make the light not quite so strong, it can become more subtle, but still gives you the illusion of depth. And you need to bear that in mind with your photography. And I saw this ad and I thought I must include it because it'll help people remember. Remember the lemon, remember the light, remember the depth. Remember the depth. Light coming from the right, it just shows up, you get this feeling of depth. Once again, the light is coming from behind the photographer, and the lighting gives this whole image a feeling of depth. Three mountains. Again, it gives a feeling of almost a three-dimensional effect with the light. Victorian Railroad Bridge. If you look at the rivets and the brickwork, again, the light is showing you some element of depth to it. If you go to the Battle of Britain Monument on the Embankment in London at the right time of day, it is beautiful. And the way the depth, the way the light shows up, everything is just amazing. It really makes your photograph almost look three-dimensional. And there is so much detail in the monument. You can spend a lot of time there should you so wish, and you can capture a lot of fascinating images. But remember the direction of light. Look at the beach. The light is coming from the right because the sun is coming, and it just shows up all the ripples. And again, with the tower in the distance gives you a three-dimensional effect. Three-dimensional effect. You've got the grass in the foreground and the mountain in the background. depth, feeling of depth. Depth and sunsets are phenomenal. You can get so many different colors in sunsets. So many different colors. And again, sense of depth. And remember, as it starts to get dark, it's far better to take images while there's still just some light, so your sky is blue or dark blue. But the moment it gets black, the whole feel of the image will change. And color contrasts against bland backgrounds are superb. Look for color as you're walking around. The three birds here are just perfect. This is a natural fit, so you take the image. And the comment quite often is, at midday you should not take pictures because it's too harsh. The light is too harsh. But if you're only somewhere at midday and you're walking, you have to take the picture. And you can take really good pictures, bearing in mind even the harsh light. Backlighting is fantastic. Backlighting always looks super in photographs. Silhouettes, backlighting. Think about that. Always look for light and the effects that you've got. People say, did you take photographs today? No, the light was bad. The light is never bad. The light is what it is. So you make the most of it. Whatever you've got, you make the most of it. You go out to take pictures of the bridge, and the bridge is hazy. So you take hazy pictures of the bridge. Hazy pictures. If it's hazy, that's what it is. Enjoy the haze. Enjoy silhouettes. Thus, you've gone down to the beach in the early morning, and behind the mountains at the back are supposed to be beautiful clouds lighting up. And it's amazing. But there's no clouds, so the light is all different. So what do? You look around and you discover, oh my goodness, a blue bottle has actually got a purple spine. You look for things. You look for different things. It may not be what you went down to take pictures of, but you take different things. And sometimes look for humor. I'm sure that arm was not like that with the original artist. And the taxis, just one taxi in the middle of orange taxis, just looks interesting. And humor. If you look at this, on this day in history, this is outside an underground station in London. All the things that happened in 1976, the early shift supervisor was born. Interesting thing. So think about composition. And next time we're going to talk about you, the photographer, what you can actually do to make things work and how you can really enjoy it. But thank you very much for joining this time. I hope you have fun and I hope you found it very interesting. So take care. See you next time. Thank you.